We're back here on the platform, and today we are looking back at some of the programs we've done last year with Bianca Nygard. We've done quite a number of programs dealing with mainly with health and fitness issues. But let's take a look at some of these clips with the platform with Bianca Nygard over the last several months. All of these things about the Nygard group and what they do for cancer research in the Bahamas.
I tell you, well, no, not so much research here.
Yes.
It's always in the Canada area.
Yes.
But for last year, it was truly an awesome feeling for most of the women who actually took part in it. They asked them to come in, and they were supposed to just fit up, get the right sizes, and then they did a runway experience for them. The women were extremely, I mean, excited to know that someone actually cared enough to pamper them for that afternoon. And most of them were the shy ones too, and so when they got up on the stage, you couldn't believe it. They were just like, wow, how am I? So it was really good to see them in that form and frame of mind, to know that they felt good about themselves, if only for that moment. And so I was happy about that. And so we say thanks to Nygard and his whole team for what they actually brought out that day in those women, because it did a lot for them.
There's a conference that you attend as well, and I believe Nygard is, as a part, sponsor of this conference in Canada. Tell us about that conference and how important it is.
It was called the Global Conference, and it was done every 3 years in Canada. Bank of Nova Scotia and the Nygard Group were the persons who actually sponsored the actual conference. Now, exactly how the logistic was, but I know we went for several times. And I think we did 4 of them. So within the past years, we did 4. And we always had a very good contingent to leave from the Bahamas to go there. It was very interesting because you had women from all over the world. One year in particular, I think it was 2012, I did my talk on breast cancer with our women here in the Bahamas and how it's affecting us. And it truly went off very well. One of the things we realized is that we're not different. None of us are different. And to actually see that you are not alone in this helps to let you realize that there is some hope out there. Because every country comes and they give their description of what is happening with their people and why, and how best we can help each other. So we have friends that we email and WhatsApp all over the world because of these same conferences. So we make good friendships, and that's the most important thing.
As a designer, I'm sure you must be very impressed with what Peter Nygard has done.
Oh,
the story of Peter Nygard is quite amazing, from rags to riches, really. And having this impact around the world with fashion, I'm sure as an employee, as a manager of a store, you've been very impressed with that.
Yes, I have, and I think even going to Winnipeg and for the conference and for the training, like I said, to just see what he's actually hands-on with everything. So this is not just a person who actually is behind the scenes, not playing a part, or just up in office somewhere and looking at the numbers and saying, oh, we sold 1 million slims. This is a man that's actually in the think tank, that you actually have to present your everything to, every idea, every clothing, every piece. He wants to feel it, he wants to touch it, and that's extraordinary. But I think that is exactly what it takes, or what it took, to actually make him the success story that he is today.
I've seen some videos from some of the factories in other places, how he's celebrated in Kenya, for instance, and in China and in Vietnam. Sometimes I wonder if we in our little country, the Bahamas, realize the impact of Nygard around the world,
I'm not sure if we actually do, but for me, even with going, like I said, going there, right, and having, you have the VP, you have the vice president, Mr. Bennett, or you have my actual regional manager, Sajad. You have persons that are actually, sometimes when you're up there, you don't get to see the big man, but you have all of these people coming down the ladder, from Mr. Nygard himself coming down, that actually communicate with you. And when they, I should say, even when they speak about the businesses in Kenya, or like you said, in Shanghai, they follow the codes, the work ethics, everything. I mean, they're exceptional. You hear about black market stories and things like this. This company, Nygard Slims, is actually above level when it comes in terms of international business and employment, and the way that the company is actually run. Mm-hmm. So I must say that I feel privileged to work for Mr. Nygard, and his standard and what they believe in as a company. It's awesome.
So there is a standard of performance for the thousands of employees around the world.
Yes, there is. I had one employee that actually, she had left for a time in Canada. And she said, she went to work, I guess, I just using her as an example, she went to work somewhere else, you're speaking with your coworkers while you're there. And she's a regional manager, and her thing was, she said, you go out and you go and you work somewhere else and they don't have no structure. She said, I was back in 6 months, because it's a structure, it's a family, and you could appreciate that, and that's what Mr. Nygard and Nygard Slims, or Nygard in itself, the company actually, brings, to us. So it's like I said, it's really awesome, and it is an experience of a lifetime.
So as a store manager here, you have to instill in your employees here, you have to imbue them with this Nygard philosophy or the work ethic, eh?
Yes, and they actually bring it. Our customers could tell you, they say, listen, we come here just because we feel like, it's family, we feel the love, we feel the customer service is like none other. I must say, I'm definitely, the team is an awesome team. We have an awesome team in the store, and they speak volumes.
He drives a hard bargain, so you have quotas, do you?
Yes, of course. Yes, and we've been doing pretty well. He brags so much about the Bahamas, and so we try to tend to live up to that standard anyway, because he speaks. I mean, listen, everyone, I don't care how many thousands of persons are sitting there in corporate in Winnipeg, they know the Bahamas because our number speaks for itself, because we're, on a network where everyone sees, who's performing what in which stores. And the Bahamas, I must say, you ladies here in the Bahamas and the men that come to shop for their ladies in the Bahamas have done an excellent job of keeping us up there, right there with New York, right there, with the stores. And so we're doing pretty well. In
terms of empowering our youth, I saw some of them in action. Tell our listeners and viewers exactly what you do when you get together.
Well, the program itself, when students get together with the program, it's a 30-week program, so we have the students for some 30 weeks in our care and our custody. So during this time, we have an opportunity to mold, shape, mentor the lives of young people. And during this period that we have these young people in our custody, we go through a very extensive curriculum that is basically an extension of their classroom work. We help with homework assistance, the BGCSE preparation, BJC preparation, our job placement, college preparatory, the discipline, the spiritual awareness. So it's a whole gamut of things that we do in terms of the Youth Empowerment Program. It's a very structured curriculum. Every week that the students come to us for the 2 hours once per week, they have something constructive that they should be or they would be doing, whether it's resume writing, resume preparation, getting them ready for the job market, getting them ready for college, getting these students ready to take national examination. This is what we do in YEP. And
this year you've gone to Nygard Key and you've had some activities there.
Yeah, what we did was the grouping of students that would have participated in the Nygard's Key visit. These would have been our students that would have won or would have been nominated for our outstanding national awards in the program. Those who would have been nominated for most outstanding student of the year, most outstanding male and female athlete, most outstanding officer of the year, mentor of the year. So what we did with those nominees, as a treat to those individuals, we took them to Nygard Key to spend the day, whereby it was a reward for their hard work and dedication and commitment. Because not often do most persons will get an opportunity to benefit from the privilege of being down at Nygard's Key. So we're very pleased that, you know, Peter Nygard and the Nygard Key was able to open his residence for the young people to experience such a wonderful property and to be pampered while they were down there at Nygard Key.
Bianca Nygard, you an integral part of all of this going on at Nygard Key. You do this all the time. You have young people come down to the Key all the time.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing to do, really. I love having the youth come over to Nygard Key. So we do have a lot of youth groups come in schools and camps and everything. And it's always a pleasure to have the youth empowerment program there. And
you had them there on a Saturday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We've had them there too before for volleyball tournaments also, and we've had our board of directors retreat there and stuff. So my dad always opens up his home to welcome people that are doing positive things to come over there and enjoy the property.
But you had a large number of young people there. This must be a very expensive undertaking.
Well, it's really about what is the money really compared to the experience, you know? I think that touching people's lives is really an amazing thing that my dad does. And I was noticing, you know, when we had all the children there, and we have so many times, right? But at the same time, we were there at the Key having that wonderful day, and everybody was so appreciative and told me what a wonderful experience it was. And I know that it'll remain in their head for a long time, maybe for life, right? And at the same time, my dad, I was watching him, and he was doing his factory tours and was going around the world, and he was touching all these other people's lives at the same moment that we were doing this here. And at the same time in Canada, they were doing something, you know. In LA, they were doing something. And I thought about my dad in Nygard Key, and he always said to me that he was a builder, and that, you know, he hands-on built Nygard Key. He built his company, he designs his factories and his clothing stores and stuff like that. And he says that he really likes to also build people, you know, build them up in his team to make them into really great people, and then to pass on these things. And I was just thinking about how beautiful that really is, you know, in the big scheme of things, right? We were enjoying our day, and then I was watching all this other stuff happen, and it was so nice. And then Father's Day came up, and just like Delano, I know, got a lot of Father's Day greetings and saying, thank you so much for touching my life. You're like this father to me. I also got a lot of Father's Day greetings to pass on to my father, you know. They just said, thank you, you've touched my life so much, and it just meant so much to me to pass on this.
Let's take a look at some of the activities. Bianca has a way of recording these things, and so we are going to just take a look at some of the activities of the Youth Empowerment Program. You take a look.
This is exclusive. Go! Go! Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
It's a great pleasure for us to be down here at Peter Nygard's residence. The Youth Empowerment Program, you know, is always wanted to come down here and visit with the students. These students that you see here today are some of our top students in the program. These students would have excelled in their various districts in terms of either being nominated for Student of the Year, Officer of the Year, Athlete of the Year, or Most Improved Student. So they really outshine some 1,200 students in the program this year, and I think it sets the benchmark in particular for those students that are watching them to say, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. And if they can go down to Peter Nygard's residence and spend the day and play volleyball and go into the water and ride the kayaks and have a wonderful time, it's something that can inspire them in terms of for them to do much better and inspire each other's students. And I think one of the key things I always tell people is the chief person to inspire young people is young people themselves.
I always like the fact of my dad's story that he's a rags to riches story, and that this is a great example for people, anybody, to realize that you can always accomplish your goals, and it just, you work hard, you make a plan, you do your goal, you work at it, and you can really build anything. My dad really had this dream of having a treehouse his whole life, and then he actually built it, you know, and it took 20 years, little by little, step by step, but he was hands-on building it, and it's wonderful to have that as a prime example, because we could say that something will happen to you, that if you work hard and you stay positive and you stay focused, that something will happen to you, but then you can actually show it, you know, and have a testimony to that. These are my favorite events, always at Nygard Key. I love the children, because children are so open with how they feel, and you can see the excitement in their face when they're here, and they're so appreciative of everything, you know. So it's our pleasure to have the Youth Empowerment Program here, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of the team, and I'm glad that I can contribute due to my father's efforts in building this whole place, and then I get the luxury of being able to entertain everybody here, so it's really nice for me.